Welcome back. Well, we've all heard about those hidden audio bugs, micro video transmitters, and other surveillance technologies. Sounds like something right out of a Tom Clancy novel, but it's not. It's a reality, prevalent in all areas of our society. If you're looking for the best in counter-surveillance technologies, look no further than REI. I'm here with Tom Jones, and Tom, I must say, right out of the box, we're very impressed with your company. Steeped in technological history, you provide a number of great solutions. Tell us a little bit about your company.
Thank you very much. Yes, our company, we specialize in the design, development, and manufacturing of, we would say, eavesdropping detection devices. And we also have a training facility so that if you purchase the equipment, you can come to our facility for complete training courses.
Now, how prevalent is corporate espionage, and is that really the correct term to use?
You know, that's a really good question. And commercial industrial espionage, it is something that's very important. It is very difficult to measure simply because many companies, if they're victims of industrial espionage, they don't really want to report it. When we think of industrial espionage, we're talking about, protecting the magic Coke formula or some new technology that a company has to protect. But the other aspect of it is that if it leaks out that technology has been compromised, not only is it a loss of an intellectual property, it's also very damaging to the company as far as their stock prices go, as far as the goodwill of the company, and many times the loss in company value due to the stocks falling is more damaging than the loss of the technology itself. But you have to also accept the fact that what we provide is not just for protecting companies against industrial espionage or the loss of technology, but it's really for a very wide variety of things. It could be loss of financial information, marketing data, mergers and acquisitions. It could be any sort of scandalous information about that company. And the market is really quite broad. It's not just corporate America. We would typically think of Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, but it's really much, much, much broader than that. If we look at the market, I typically like to divide it into two different categories. There are obviously those companies that are defense contractors for the government, and the government is also a customer of ours. But the government and all the defense contractors, they have in place a classified system which is very good and very reliable for protecting that type of technology. But the rest of the economy that doesn't fall under the government DOD or government contracting, they basically are responsible themselves for protecting their own industry. And it could be anything. It could be food and drugs, pharmaceuticals, automobiles, airplanes, retail, even sports teams. It's funny, I mentioned sports teams, but it is really true. I mean, if there's a big football game on Sunday, wouldn't it be nice to know the game plan of the other team? And it does happen. Well, Bill, let me explain some of the technology that our company offers and that we brought to the show.
Okay, what do you have right here behind us, Tom?
This product is the Oscar Blue. It is a spectrum analyzer. It's basically designed to scan through the electromagnetic spectrum. It covers a very broad frequency range, and it's used to look for signals that really aren't supposed to be there. And the idea is that you would take this into a conference room or an office or whatever the facility is that you need to sweep, and you would use it two ways. Let me describe just a little bit. The first thing you might do is take it outside in the parking lot and let it scan through and gather sort of the ambient environment. And basically it'll identify radio stations, TV stations, anything that's normally ambient to the environment. And then you bring it into your room of concern, your target area, and let it sweep through the electromagnetic spectrum again. At that point, if there's any new signal that's unique to that conference room, that may be emanating from a bugging device or a video surveillance camera, then you would find that signal, readily identify it, and then you could find it very quickly. And it is designed to find some very common bugs, like a simple, cheap FM transmitter that you might find on the internet, to something that might be much more sophisticated. A sophisticated device being something that would actually store up audio or be voice activated so that it's not actually radiating during the day. And then in the middle of the night, it may actually transmit out the information in one large burst. In that case, you would actually have to have the device in the conference room gathering data, throughout the night. So go ahead.
Well, let's talk about the bad guy. Let's say he thinks that, they'll probably do a sweep. Let's turn our equipment off. Do you have any way to negate that?
Yeah, yes, actually, that's a very, very good question. And, one thing to keep in mind is that the level of threat really depends on the customer and the concerns that they have. I mean, if it's a very sophisticated industrial espionage concern, it may be a very sophisticated threat. But it could simply be someone else in the company spying on a vice president, some internal squabble, something that's rather benign. So you have to look at all levels. But if it is very, very sophisticated and it's something that would be turned off or not radiating or difficult to find, then we have another product that we would recommend that you use. And really, you want to use all of these products just to cover the gamut of technology. But this is a nonlinear junction detector. It's called the Orion. And it's similar to a metal detector, but it does not detect metal. It detects basically semiconductor junctions that are associated with electronics. And the way it works is it actually radiates a signal, and if there's any hidden electronics, it will excite those electronics and they will re-radiate at harmonic frequencies, and you measure the return from those harmonic frequencies. Now the unique thing about this product is that the electronics that you're looking for don't even have to be turned on, powered up at all. They can be completely dead. You can have a tape recorder hidden in a wall that's been there 10 years and the batteries are completely dead, and you'll find those electronics. And just to give you a demonstration, this is just a single diode on a circuit card. We use it as a test tag. And you'll notice here, this is the transmit power. The red is the second harmonic and the yellow is the third harmonic. And you watch, when I bring the test tag close, you get quite a large response. So you would take this as a physical search tool and go over all the surfaces in the room. And it is really important to consider both of these tools to provide a very complete sweep.
Well, Tom, I'd really like to put this to the test right now. If you scanned this microphone, would it do anything?
Absolutely. I mean, we can actually do it for the camera there. So.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Now, that was impromptu, but that was probably very easy to detect. As you were describing, these are devices that are turned off, maybe have no power to them at all, still going to pick it up.
Absolutely. You know, one other very interesting application to this product that has absolutely nothing to do with industrial espionage, but has become very, very popular, is using this device in prisons. And the problem in prisons is that inmates are smuggling cell phones and even DVD players and iPads into their prison cell, and that's all electronic contraband because they're using those phones to conduct still nefarious activities. So a prison guard can take this into a prison cell, and the inmate may have his cell phone hidden. He would typically have the battery removed, the SIM card removed, maybe the charger's hidden in one location, the cell phone in another location, and you can find all of those pieces with this product. And it's a very effective tool.
That is amazing. Now, you mentioned cell phone. How about regular landlines? Is that still prevalent to have problems and bugs put on those?
Absolutely. I mean, you still have to have equipment to find not only the bugging devices, but to protect your telephones, your telecommunications as well. And we certainly have a product to do that called the Talon, which stands for Telephone and Line Analyzer. And it's really designed to look for compromises within a phone or on the phone line, if the phone line is tapped.
Well, let's go take a look at that.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, Tom, what we have in front of us here, some ordinary telephones, but as you mentioned, we can find some bugs that might be tapped into those, recording our valuable conversation.
Absolutely. This product is called the Talon, which is Telephone and Line Analyzer, and it's really designed to find phone taps or different devices that could be on a lot of different types of phone systems. And you could have a regular old analog telephone system, which is what you might have in a house. You can look for devices on digital telephone systems, which would be in many companies or businesses where you have multiple trunk lines coming into a business, but many, many different extension lines going out throughout the company. And you can also use the product to find voice over IP type telephone compromises. So it's a very comprehensive piece of equipment. It actually has many different types of tests built into this one piece of equipment. And I think that given the sake of time, we can't really go into all those different types of tests, but I'll give you a quick summary. It has a built-in multimeter to measure voltages and currents and resistance on phone lines. It has an audio amplifier and a digital demodulation system so that you can check for audio going down the line. You know, for example, just to give you one quick example, this is actually a VoIP telephone, but a digital telephone has the same effect in that this phone really has 4 different microphones built into it. And any one of those microphones could be compromised, and audio from that phone could be sent on down the phone line. So when you test a telephone line, you have to check not just the main pair, but any combination of wires that may be coming to that phone. For example, most phone systems today are wired with Category 5, Cat 5 phone cable. There are 8 conductors in that phone line. Of the 8 conductors, if you look at all the different combinations of wires, for example, conductor 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, and so on, there are 28 combinations of pairs. This product will actually automatically switch through all of those combinations of pairs and check every combination of pair for many different types of tests. It'll check them for audio, for voltage measurements, for current, there is a nonlinear junction detector function built into this product. There is a frequency domain reflectometer, so that if there is a tap on the line, for example, here's some cable, and we simulate a tap on that cable, it can tell you not only there's a tap on that cable, but actually how far down the wire that tap is located. And then you can go and find it.
Now, typically, is this permanently installed and continually monitors, or can you move it from location to maybe headquarters to another location?
That's a very good question. I mean, ideally it would be nice. I would love to sell enough to leave them permanently installed, but that's typically not how it's used. You typically go into a facility, you take a phone, and you would completely analyze that phone all the way back to the main switch, and then you would move to another telephone and test it as well. So it's kind of a lengthy process, but with less than an hour you can do a very thorough examination of one particular phone and its cabling to that phone.
That is just amazing. Well, a company steeped in history has some high-tech solutions to all the espionage that could be happening in our businesses. With that said, Tom, right now, I know you have to have the attention of all of our viewers out there. What's the best way for them to learn more about REI?
Probably the best way is simply through the internet. I mean, if you search on our company name, Research Electronics International, or any of our product names, it's very easy to find not only our company, but there's a lot of other websites in there that talk about our equipment, and mostly in a very positive manner. So I think you'll get a good rapport from that.
Easy enough. Well, Tom, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the time.